Like we have the 80-20 legislation. I know Curacao has it. 80-20 is a law that protects basically the local market, right? It protects the local market in the sense that employers needs to oblige to the law of 80% of your workers needs to be from the country itself, and 20% we are giving you the opportunity for you to bring people from from non-nationals. In the event, but of course we have to do an analysis because you have to remember as well that within each sector you need to have those experts that can occupy and actually execute the functions that they need to function. So it will have certain sectors that you might not find nationals, not because they're not qualified nationals that can execute the job, but at the end of the day, will they be available? Some of them are working already, some of them are elsewhere, some of them, you know, and also we do not have like for instance now, we are of the opinion that VESA and Ministry of Education needs to work very close. They have to work closely because at the end of the day, you want to occupy, especially those high positions in the different functions of the different sectors. You want to have your nationals occupying this, of course, because you want to maintain that identity of the country. So it's important that when we are sending our children overseas, that those vacancies and functions are there available for them. Not that the children are choosing, everybody wants to become doctors, everybody wants to become, no. It has to be it's like a business plan, but for the country. What it is we want to achieve, for instance, in 10 years, I want to achieve, okay, I have these and these and these industries, I have this and this and this. This company is occupied 60% by foreigners. These are people that will go on pension within the next 5 years. Do I have for these positions within the company itself nationals that can occupy those high functions? Or do I have children that are coming from overseas that might not occupy that high function one time, but be below, and then start, you know, leave them work side by side. And so there are different things that we can do, but we need to have that structure in place and work as a whole in order for us to guide the country in the direction that we want to guide that country. So you do not want to have your locals only staying on the lower piece. You want them in the higher piece as well, those that are decision making, in order for you to strengthen that force, that zeggenschap within the country itself. Because at the end of the day, if you have all of those high positions being occupied by foreigners and non-locals, the country is not yours no more. And you're running a risk that at the end, when more years transpire, that basically you don't have no say in your country. You do not have no say because you're not the majority no more.
That's already happening though.
Exactly. And that's why you will find people from outside that are pulling on strings and say what needs to happen, what don't need to happen. And then when that is the case, everybody look at their own interests. They do not look at the interests of the country no more. It's about making money. It's about me. It's about what is there in there for me. Who can I? It's about a lot of things, Mr. Gibbs, that I think this program is not enough for us to go into details about it. But that's why we need to have the policy set in place so that people can follow the rules and adhere to the rules. So whether it's 80-20 we need to apply on St. Martin, we can start with a 60-40. It all depends on when we check and see, we do the analysis, because an analysis needs to be done in the different sectors, the different industries, to see, okay, these positions are being occupied by foreigners. In this sector, we have this amount. Within 5 years, some have to go pension. Do we have children coming from overseas that we can place there? It's a whole work that needs to be done, but it can be done. It has to start. So by doing that, we have that's with the vision in place, like where we want the country to go. And then you have that rule of the 60-40 that can be implemented, because then you will reinforce basically an employer have to make sure that if they have 5 workers, 3 of them have to be nationals. So that's staying from what we have now with Chinese, only Chinese working in the supermarket, only Chinese doing the packing and the things. That will be nullified at the end of the day, because don't tell me you can't find a local that can pack your shelves. You find Chinese self-packing the shelves. And it have unemployed that maybe are not educated enough, but they can definitely pack a shelf. So we are creating with that different opportunities for all the different sectors and different angles within the society, in the community itself, that they can still get protection from the government in getting that opportunity to execute it on the job. Because if we continue going in the direction that we are going, at the end of the day, we will create more unemployment, because we have to remember that Chinese will be for Chinese, Indians will be for Indians, Dutch people will be for Dutch people. It's the same thing with us. We have to look for us as well. It's not being racist. Why when the Chinese look for the Chinese, they are not racist? Why when the Indians look out for the Indians, they are not racist? Why it is when we looking out for our own, oh, we are racist? No, it's across the border for everybody. We have to make sure that we protect for those that are here. We have to remember our children are from here. I am not born here. I am from Curacao, but my grandparents are from St. Martin. I am related to the Webster, to the Cartys, to the Browns, to the Jacobs, to the Flanders. I'm related. So I am from here. At the end of the day, you have to look in the future. What is it? And that's how I have worked with Dutch people for 6 years. And one thing I have learned from them is you do not move something without looking at the effect of it in 10 years. And what we have been doing here, we have been moving stones without looking at the effect of it in 10 years. And that's what we have now with the situation on St. Martin. It's not only because of hurricane, because before hurricane, we already had a social deterioration. It's not because of the hurricane.
Everybody just exposed it, actually.
Yes, everybody want to say the hurricane. No, the hurricane make it even worse. But before that, we already had unemployment on a high rate for a small country like this. And we already had a lot of things going on, but nobody don't want to tackle. And you get a lot of work permits being signed. Well, it have locals that can execute the job. On the other end, we also have to say, sometimes you approach locals, indeed, they do not want to work, but you have those that do want to work, is not getting the opportunity. So for those that want to work, that wants the opportunity, this policy is perfectly set in place to give them that opportunity.